When I ask you to think of a doctor, what gender first comes into your mind? Now think of a nurse. What gender now comes into your mind? So was the doctor a man and the nurse a woman? That's where the problem starts. As a society, we've been conditioned to think that certain genders fit into certain roles. Certain people can or cannot do certain things. And that's what we're here to talk about today. 3 months into my IT degree, I was talking to a now very close friend of mine. And she was telling me how she was originally afraid of applying for the degree that we're doing. For some context, she did the foundation in arts, but she had an interest in cybersecurity and web development. So when I asked her why were you so afraid? What made you so afraid? She gave me 2 reasons. The first reason was she was intimidated by the male to female ratios in the classroom. And the second reason was she was afraid. She was afraid that she wouldn't be noticed by certain male students or by certain male teachers because she's a woman. At that moment, it struck me. There are some women out there who are so afraid of going for certain opportunities. Some women who have ignored certain opportunities that have come that way. Back in high school, I used to volunteer for an online mapping program where me and a bunch of people used to map out areas, particularly northern Tanzania, where female genital mutilation, otherwise known as FGM, is extremely common. Areas that had no remote access to healthcare systems. So the girls that did go through with FGM were at risk of losing their lives. Do you want to know the amazing part of this? We used free software to map out these areas. We were in our own rooms mapping out these areas with just Wi-Fi and a laptop. Technology is so underrated these days. Employers nowadays look at if you can utilize certain technological skills. Instead of theory, they're now looking at experience. Are you able to book an appointment using Gmail? Something very simple to me, but to others, something very hard. Are you able to input formulas that will automate your whole data in Excel? I also used to volunteer for More Than a Drop, a vocational training program back in Moshi where girls who had dropped out of either secondary or even primary school would go. They would gain skills such as English, a language that's up and coming, and computer skills. Skills that are nowadays very needed in the society. It was there that I met a girl when I was only 17 years old, and her name was Asha. She was 2 years older than me, something that really shocked me. And I walked up to her and I shamelessly, which I now regret maybe, asked her, "Tell me more about yourself." And she told me her story. It went like this. Asha had just finished her primary education and was now so excited to be going on with her secondary. But she couldn't. She couldn't go on with her secondary because her family couldn't afford to. So she was stuck at home doing house chores while she watched her friends so excitedly go on with their lives. She thought that she had reached the end of her journey. She was disheartened. She was heartbroken. A girl to be snatched away from her education. But then, all of a sudden, in came in her uncle. Her uncle told her about an opportunity at the organization More Than a Drop. He encouraged her to apply. Originally, she was very scared because if she couldn't go on with her secondary and she just ended at primary, what more opportunities does she have? But her uncle kept encouraging her. He kept telling her each day, each passing week, "Asha, just go, try your hand and apply." And finally, she applied. A week later, or maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks for her, She got a reply from More Than a Drop. She was sponsored for a whole year to study there. During that year, she learned English, a language that she didn't even know, and she learned how to use a computer, a device that she had never even touched before. After her graduation at More Than a Drop, Asha soon got a job at a restaurant. Something she wouldn't have imagined 2 years ago. Something she was so afraid of achieving in her future. These days, there are even courses designed for people to study online. I myself am doing my cybersecurity degree online. And it's amazing to hear more stories online similarly to Asha's. Imagine if we taught just one girl, or if you even taught 100 girls how to use a certain device, or how to speak a certain language, or certain skills that employers are looking for. How much do you think she'll come forward in her life? Alongside mapping areas in Tanzania, and also educating girls, technology is extremely important for awareness. So how many people here use your social media or Instagram or something for news? Because I know I do, and I see a few of you do also. So that's exactly what social media is. It's an awareness hotspot. And that's where the hashtag #MeToo movement comes in. So the #MeToo movement was a platform for girls who were normally shunned for speaking on abuse to come out and talk about it. So girls who underwent sexual abuse, physical abuse, or even emotional abuse. Girls would give other girls tips on how to watch out for certain flags, how to avoid certain people, and how to know your boundaries as a woman. This is extremely important, especially in an age where girls are slowly coming up and talking more about certain issues. So, social media is not only used for awareness, it's also used as a way for people to network with each other. I've met so many amazing people online, through forums, or even my Instagram, because we've connected through art, or music, or even technology. People who are willing to teach one another. So, if you have free time, just go on your Instagram and maybe look for a few people you can talk to. I know it's scary at first, but it's worth it. So what am I trying to say? Is technology this device that is almost amazing and can change someone's whole life? Yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Technology is so accessible in this day and age that it's crazy how much change we can make. So firstly, technology is so accessible that you or even me can post something on our Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, and in the next 2 minutes, it's already reached 10 people. In addition to that, technology has the ability to raise awareness on certain issues that people are afraid to talk on. Nowadays, there are protests that are being done online. So if you're interested, you can search the right sources and you can easily find them. And finally, apart from educating and empowering women, technology is also being used to eradicate the fears that some people have in their daily lives. Like, look at the hashtag #MeToo movement. It's been such a big deal that so many women have been coming out and talking about certain experiences that they've had. As a woman in the cybersecurity field, there are times where I feel like I'm not good enough, and it's easy to feel the imposter syndrome. But then I look online and I see amazing women who are making a difference, who are actually talking on their experiences in the particular field. So next time you see someone who feels like they're not worthy, particularly females, because in a society where it's mostly male-dominated, it's easy to feel that you're less worthy of something. So make sure you make each other feel comfortable. As a parent, if you notice yourself comforting your son more than your daughter, think again. Or as an employer, if you notice that there's a bit of a salary difference that a bit makes a huge difference to the person's life. So take the initiative in your life using technology and then pursue it. Because there's really nothing to be scared of if you have the power of technology by your side. Thank you. Right.